Hi everybody! In today's video, we're gonna talk about the final game battle between Jakovir Sindarov of Uzbekistan and Super Grandmaster Vladimir Fedoseev, formerly Russian but already transferred to Slovenia. And they went Armageddon because they scored 2-2 in their 4 games match. And this Armageddon determines the last spot of the coming Grand Slam lineup together with the world number 1 Magnus Carlsen, Hikaru Nakamura, Viswanathan Anand, and a lot of beast grandmasters there. So Fedoseev must play for draw because this is an Armageddon game, and Sindarov in a must-win situation. Sindarov opens with G3 in the first move, and G6 by Fedoseev. B4 threatens the queen on H8. So by the way, I forgot to tell you that this is the 960. So look at the randomized pieces. Bishop G7, captures, and Bishop G2, Knight E6, develop, and castles. According to Stockfish, it says bad move. But it looks normal. And according to computer, he wants to play H4 in this position. So maybe he wants to play H5, something like that. And delaying castle. But here, white castles, and E3. Knight D6, and Knight C3. The early declaration of a blundered move. So here, better was A4 according to Stockfish. So what is the difference of Knight C3 in this position? Fedoseev found the excellent way Knight C4, attacking the pawn on D2. And Sindarov went Knight B3 to support it. So here, another brilliant move by Fedoseev. He found the Knight takes D2, eliminating the defender of the hanging knight on C3. Now here, after Knight C4, by the way, if you are thinking about the D4, okay, to remove from threat and to block the knight on C3, and black will go to Knight D2, so wins material. Okay, so that's why Sindarov decided to play Knight B3, then Knight takes D2, sacrifice Knight takes D2, and we have Queen takes Knight, and Knight E4, attacking the Queen there, and Queen C4. Okay, so taking the pawn on C2 is a little bit too much, and it scares with scary move Rook F C1, attacking the Queen there, and it activates a lot of pieces for white. So that's why Fedoseev went Queen C4, so threatens the pawn on A2, and H4, so trying to breathe in the kingside space, trying to play H5 later on, then Queen H4, something like that, but Fedoseev didn't allow the white to play H5. And A3, of course, to remove from threat, and additional support to B4, and Fedoseev played B6 to breathe the development control of the light squared bishop, and now Rook FC1 to support the pawn, and A5. Right, so Fedoseev wants to create some complications in the queen side, and Rook B3. So what's the idea of a Rook B3? Okay, maybe Sindarov wants to play Rook C3 to attack the queen, something like that. So Fedoseev captured the pawn, and A takes B4, and we have C5, challenging the pawn on B4, but it says bad move according to computer engine. So better was Rook F D8, and later on to play D5, then D4. Okay, something like that to strike at the center. But so let's go back with C5, and Sindarov played Knight D2. Okay, so attacking the queen, and goes to E2 with counter attack. Now Rook D3 to support it, and yeah, smells trapping the queen there later on. But Fedoseev simply captured the pawn on B4, and after Bishop F1, no, So the queen is under attack. So there's no way here to trap the queen. E4. So here, yeah, we have bishop f3 coming to trap the queen. But Fedoseev simply played knight c5 to attack the rook on d3, then bishop f3. But he doesn't afraid about losing the queen because of two rooks in exchange with the queen. So with the tempo threat, then bishop d1 to support the c2. But the computer says bishop takes h5. Okay, maybe after g takes h5, then queen f3. But assuming that white can take the pawn on h5, then yeah, I can only sense that white is going to have the perpetual check and it's a draw. But at this moment, since this is the Armageddon game, so no time for draw. White does not afford to draw this position, this game, rather, because it's gonna be loose for white. So bishop d1, then knight a2. Okay, so going to maneuver on c3, but better was d5 according to computer. So that is the accurate move. After e takes d5, then simply rook f d8, then bishop takes d5. Okay, but let's go with the game. Knight a2, and Sindarov played g4. Okay, trying to open up the king side, of course, to attack the black king. But the computer says bishop takes h5. Okay, so let's go back with g4, knight c3 to attack the bishop, and we have queen f3 to support it, and h takes g4, queen takes g4, then b5. Okay, so b5 says bad move, but I can read this idea followed with rook b6. All right, so in preparation to white's h5, then rook b6 to protect his g6, or to protect the sixth rank. So that's the idea. But in accurate phase, knight takes d1 was better. After queen takes d1, then simply rook b c8, and slightly better for black. Okay, so let's go back with b5, then bishop f3. So that's the difference. Since he didn't take the bishop, and now there's a chance to move away. And rook b6, h5, and rook d6. Okay, threatens the knight on d2, and now queen g5 supports it, and rook f6. All right, so queen g5 at the same time threatening the pawn on e7. So that's one idea besides supporting the knight on d2. So that's why Fedoseev went rook f6 to block it, and also a little bit pressure on the bishop. But according to computer, rook e8 is the accurate move. Okay, rook e8 simply to support the e7. Now, let's go back with rook f6, and then we have queen e5, right? Attacking the pawn on e7 still. But here, better was queen c5. So attacking the pawn on e7, at the same time, attacking the pawn on the b4. Okay, so yeah, that was better. So let's go back with queen e5, rook e6, queen g5 again, and we have bishop takes e4, knight takes e4, knight takes e4, and queen takes b5. All right, so cleaning the queenside pawns, but according to computer, better was bishop takes, rook takes, and h takes g6. But black has the very nice move, rook e6. So white has to take the pawn at f7 with double check, then king takes f7 and king f1, of course, to remove from the dangerous g file. So, but then look at the evaluation bar. It says slightly better for black only. And after rook f6, then king e8. Look at the f pawn, so passively falling down. And yeah, so black could, I believe black could manage to an equal position towards the draw, since this is Armageddon. So draw is victory for black. So that's why Sindarov, as much as possible, complicates a little bit. Queen takes b5, and Fedoseev played knight f6 to support the pawn on d7, and to force the white to react on his h-pawn. Hg6, hg6, then queen takes b4, then we have king g7 and queen d4, rook d6, queen d5, rook e6, queen d4, rook d6. Okay, so the black's question is, are you going to play for draw? Of course, white has to change his move to avoid the triple repetition of move. So rook b8, c4, then rook b3 to attack the bishop, king g2, and rook b d3, queen g5, and rook e6, c5, and rook d4, and queen c1. So look at the time difference. Fedoseev has 1 minute and 11 seconds and less than 30 seconds with Sindarov. So here, rook a6 was played by Fedoseev at this point. And it says blundered move. So better was rook e5. Yeah, rook e5. So with the idea to play later on, but cannot play rook g5. I thought there is the coming rook g5, but there is a queen there. So rook e5. Maybe rook f5, then double up the rook to f-file. Yeah, attacking the bishop towards the f2. Yeah, so that's the clear idea of rook e5 and double up the rook there. Okay, so let's go back with rook a6 and queen e3. Brilliant move. So attacking the rook there and at the same time attacking the pawn on e7. So e5, force move. Queen takes e5 and rook d2. Another blunderacious move by Fedoseev at this point. So better was rook e4. Wow, rook e4. After bishop takes rook, then rook to e6. Yeah, and the next move would be taking the bishop. And here, according to computer, it continues with queen takes e6, d takes e6, and king f3. But yeah, so it's an equal game. So it means the game smells draw in this position. So it favors the black pieces since this is Armageddon. So let's go back with the rook d2, queen e7 check, king g8. Okay, cannot play king h6 because of queen e3. So the rook will fall. So that's why king g8 force and c6. Yeah, that's the big difference. c6 blocking the knight support. And now d takes c6, then queen takes knight, and rook a2 attacking the pawn on f2, and queen takes g6. Now white is winning. Sindarov is winning. Queen f6 check, king g8, and king g3, rook takes f2, and queen g6 check, king f8 check again, and queen takes c6. So look at the position. This is indeed winning for white, and Fedoseev decided to capture the bishop because bishop d5 is coming here, and it becomes very dangerous for black. So Fedoseev decided to eliminate the bishop. Queen takes f3 and goes with rook a7, and to run immediately towards the black king to stick together like a child to his mom, something like that. But queen d5 check, king h7, and queen e4 check, king g8. So white has to stay at the light square option because of to avoid the double attack. Okay, so queen d5 check, king h7, then king g4. So this is indeed winning for white. King h5, rook e7, queen f5 check, king g7, and queen f4. Yeah. So this is the shocking move, queen f4. So better was king g5 with the idea to play queen f6. All right. So but Sindarov went queen f4, then rook e6, check, king f7, queen d2. Maybe he is under pressure with the time and he feels annoying with this time. Only 2 seconds. Okay. So I think there's no increment at all. Yeah, there's no increment. So that's quite difficult. That's quite difficult for white. So look at the time progress. There's no increment at all. So here he played king f5. So better was king f6 at this point. But since there's no increment, at 2 seconds. So he played king f5, a tremendous blundered move. And yeah, after rook c5, so picking up the next, or picking up the queen next move. So take, and it's a totally draw. And it's a victory for black because this is the Armageddon game. So from winning, but lack of time control. So that's the reason why Fedoseev or Fedoseev is the deserved winner of this kind of elimination, and he's going to the final spot or the final slot towards the Grand Slam of very near, very soon, the Grand Slam together with the Magnus Carlsen, Hikaru Nakamura, Viswanathan Anand, and a lot of super grandmasters there. So yeah, so let's gonna wait for this coming showdown. And here once again, this is your coach. I am Roderick Nava, and please bear with my English because this is not my native language, but I'm trying my best to speak in English, and I believe someday I'm gonna speak smoothly and fluently. So I'm going to learn more grammar and English words so that I can express myself, to explain the given position, or for every given position, to deliver the ideas for you to grasp, to understand very well. So thank you so much for your understanding, and I hope you like this video. If you do like this video, please have a thumbs up, and please click the subscribe button and notification bell all so that our upcoming videos will be notify you. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.